I think what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about my sporting career, a lot about the organisation, the planning and the delivery of the London Olympic and Paralympic Games. We made two decisions in that bid, which I think were the most important decisions we ever made through the whole project. That was to have one organising committee to plan and deliver Olympic Games and Paralympic Games, and secondly, to have access, diversity and inclusion hardwired into our bid right from the beginning. And crucially, I, along with the other directors, knew that we had to lead on access. It only works if it's led, if it's owned, if it's gripped right from the top, right across all of our government departments. We had 17 government departments. We needed to do stuff for us. All of those partners, all of those stakeholders needed to be as committed to, as connected, as into diversity, access and inclusion as we were. But the E is the most important part. We're doing access, diversity and inclusion to create extraordinary experiences. Building that experience and letting the experience drive the operational detail. And it was all about constructing end-to-end journeys. And we knew the most important point was Heathrow Airport. We needed to construct a one-team approach there. Not easy. There's 94 airlines operating out of Heathrow. There's baggage handlers, ground staff, a whole series of different organisations who never work together. We had to make one team, Team Heathrow for the Games, to deliver an inclusive experience because it was people's first touch point. We just started from that experience of saying, this is how it should be. This needs to happen. How do we make it happen? Let's make it happen. If you make a change to benefit disabled people, it will inevitably benefit everyone. We really saw that through all the elements of our planning. When I took some journalists around some of our competition venues, they said, show me some of the inclusive features that you've talked about. I said, well, that's really the point. The fact that we've planned it from the outset means that these things won't stand out like big red flashing signs going, this is the access zone, this is a disability point. The whole point is it's blended in, neatly put in to inclusive design from the outset. And when it came to our volunteers, we didn't just want them to understand, to have an appreciation, to have an ability to act when it came to working with disabled people as spectators, as guests. We wanted to have a significant number of disabled people as volunteers, as games makers at London 2012. We had over 100,000 contractors. If you were coming in as a spectator, as a member of the media, it's most likely you're going to meet a contractor, you're going to interact with a contractor. So we had to ensure that all of those guys were absolutely hardwired into this. One team of workforce, same consistency of service, whether you were paid, volunteer or contractor, because if you were a spectator, you didn't care whether somebody was paid, a volunteer or contractor. All you wanted was an exceptional experience at games time. So I think a key piece, which is often overlooked, is the last mile. And that's the piece from the transport hub to the gates of the event. Absolutely essential for so much work to be put into that, to ensure that when someone's off the transport and before they're in the hands of the event organiser, there's access and inclusion built throughout that last mile. With the seating bowl, the stadia, the action. What we figured was, let's have the wheelchair seating positions dotted throughout the seating bowl. Let's not clump them together. Let's have them spread throughout the seating bowl. And what a radical concept. If you come to the games with your wife as a wheelchair user, you can sit and experience the event with your wife. I'll share a little story. I went into a school in the east of London, and had a lovely time, had a great chat. Then we've got to the questions, and one of the kids puts his hand up and he says, "Oi, mister." Yeah. He says, "So you're blind, right?" Yeah. He says, "So you can't see nothing?" I chose to ignore the double negative. Merely mused on the state of British education. I said, "That's right, I can't see anything." And he says, "Well, how do you know when someone's robbing your house?" Thank you very much. Hi, I'm Chris Holmes MBE, Director of the Paralympic Games for London 2012. I'm at the Accessible Events Smart Business Forum here in Sydney. And what we want you to do is to contribute your views on your experience of events you've been to, good, bad, indifferent. We want to hear your experiences at events, because what this conference is all about is planning for accessible, inclusive, exceptional events. So please do give your feedback after the presentation.